Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Cup Half Full podcast. I'm your host, Martika Shanel, and here we talk all things silver linings and inspiration for the leveling up minds. In today's episode, we are doing part 2 of building your inner resilience. And just to recap on last time, we talked about the importance of understanding growth mindset and possessing that for ourselves. We also talked about the importance of building connections and community and how that will help to boost our resilience. We touched on self-care and what to do in terms of escapism and just finding something to help decompress whenever we are in a stressful situation, connecting with nature, tapping into our hobbies, and understanding what those things are for ourselves. And we're going to continue on today with 3 additional techniques that we can have in our back pocket, and so that we are able to continue to build on resilience techniques. So for starters, problem-solving skills. Whenever we are in stressful situations, it can be difficult for us to decompress, de-stress, and to understand that we can break down our problems into bite-sized pieces so they don't appear as big as we see them in the given moment. And so part of that is brainstorming potential solutions for your particular problem. And this could be, taking a step back. We all need to do that in stressful situations. I know I do. And maybe building a chart of some sort to see what are the pros, what are the cons of this potential problem that we're having, that we're experiencing. And then from there, envisioning, okay, what are the end results potentially if I took this route? And then what could potentially occur if I took the alternative route? So we're just taking a step back and understanding. And whenever we're in these situations and we're taking that step back, breathing throughout this onset of this issue, I always do a few deep breaths, and it really works. I even practice this with my children. I'm like, do we need to take a deep breath? Because a lot of times whenever you do that, it helps to calm you. Whether it's 1 to 3 breaths, it helps to calm you. So if you aren't doing that, that's something to do as well in a stressful environment. And then from there, once you're developing these different action plans, and let's say that you decide to employ action 1 or plan 1, even if it doesn't work out, you're able to see, okay, this worked and this didn't. And so next time I'll approach this in a different manner, one that's potentially more successful the next time. So it's just trial and error, it is, but understanding that this huge problem in front of us doesn't have to be as big as it appears to be, because we can break that down. Another thing that we can do to build resilience is creating mindfulness, cultivating mindfulness and self-awareness. When we understand what our feelings are in the moment and we're able to address them and analyze them, this helps to empower us in stressful situations. So part of that is understanding what our triggers are. And we talk about this often. And just having this little arsenal in our back pocket of resilience techniques is going to do wonders for us in those sort of situations, because they happen, and sometimes we're not expecting them. They're impromptu, and we have to understand, okay, this is how I address this issue based on what I have created for myself in terms of techniques. So you're listening to your body's signals. What is it telling you? What is it telling you? Are you upset? Are you angry? What is the situation? And then identifying what your coping mechanisms are. Is it to say, I'll get back with you? Is it to go take a walk? Is it to go and write in your journal, do a stream of consciousness? Whatever your technique is, you need to understand that. That way, whenever you're confronted in the moment, you're able to healthily address the situation instead of just reacting, which is what we don't want to do. And this prevents us from being unable to regulate our emotions. You understand and you have a plan, and then you're able to take control of the situation. And it also gives you a different perspective as well on what's going on, because sometimes the situation isn't as it appears to be. So whenever we do take that time to really analyze to see what's going on, maybe it's the other person, maybe they're having an off day, maybe it's not, maybe it's their character building day. Who knows, right? But we don't have to receive the projection of emotions of others, but we don't know that unless we are self-aware. And then we're also talking about finding meaning and purpose. Whenever we're building resilience, whenever you're able to tap into something that's bigger than yourself, you are building resilience. You are shifting the perspective and the focus of this situation that's occurring in your life into something that's positive. And this could be anything, that's aligned with your vision, your morals, your faith, your community, your work, your family, any of those things. But whenever we're able to do that, you're strengthening yourself first and foremost, but you're able to provide a sense of perspective and motivation during these tough times, because that's really what we need. When something's going on, you do need to have a focal point that's also from a positive space. And so this affords you the opportunity to do just that. And also it also forces you to affirm what your why is. What is your why? Why are you doing this? So tapping into that. And then lastly, practicing gratitude. This is super important, especially whenever we are cultivating an abundant life ourselves. We have to be able to show gratitude. I know I keep a gratitude journal, and it helps me because perspective. Whenever something's happening, sometimes we have the desire to want to tap into that snowball effect. And I think some of us must know what that is, because we've done it, or we've since grown from it, because we've understood, okay, that's what that is. And I want to steer from that. And the snowball effect, for those who don't know, is you're looking at something from a negative standpoint, but you're going to your archives and you're going all the way back to seeing, this is where it's proven that life is difficult for me, that people are terrible to me, that I always run into these sorts of situations that are awful. And you go back to that archive and you begin to pull, and this can even go back to whenever you were a child, you begin to pull all of these scenarios and instances where this has occurred to prove your point that this is always happening to you, versus still tapping into the archive, however, from a positive perspective. So let's shift our mind from thinking about the negatives to the positives. What are the positive times where people have shown up for you, where people have valued you and been supportive? Where are those archives? So pulling from those to change the narrative, to change the perspective on this, to show you that this is just a one-off type of instance that's just happening not to be in your favor in the moment. It's about building resilience. So tapping into that whenever we're showing gratitude. So ultimately, I just want us to understand that building resilience is not a destination. It's a journey. It's something that we're continuously doing. And it's something that we have to have, and we have to strengthen this tool, because it's going to help us during stressful times. It's going to allow us to bounce back quicker whenever things don't go our way or is askew to what we've envisioned in terms of the plan. So building resiliency, celebrating our progress. And ultimately, as we're navigating life's ups and downs, we're employing these 7 techniques that we've talked about in parts 1 and part 2. Implementing self-care techniques, developing problem-solving skills, having a growth mindset, and building on that. We're doing all the things that we talked about. And that is what's going to help us to take control of whatever life throws at us, because we do have the ability. We have a wellspring of strength within us that we can tap into. We just have to grow it and nourish it so that it can blossom and be in our favor whenever times are tough. So again, I'm your host, Martika Shanel. I appreciate you all for tuning in today for part 2 of Building Your Inner Resilience. I wish you nothing more than peace, joy, and unconditional happiness. Until next time.